Sunday night, September 7th at what time is it? 10 o'clock? Not even. 9:37. 9:38 Eastern Standard Time. Coming to you here from our YouTube page, which is not seem to work. It takes at least 3 minutes currently for any one of my regular viewers who I haven't warned, I haven't told in advance that I'm going to be on YouTube, to know that we're on. Joe's not getting notified. It's crazy. I don't know. I just saw a whole YouTube video about YouTube not telling people when you're live and not sharing your new videos and things like that. So that's worrisome. But I simply don't have the time for it. Busy day at the shop, not like last week, which was a holiday weekend, not really, really busy, but a lot of people asking a lot of questions, a lot of people in and out. Maybe half an hour was the longest I was alone until all the way at the end of the day. Just a couple of homeless people picking up stuff to help, keep foster sales. We're fall. It was raining all morning. And then even when the sun came out, it was kind of cooler than it had been. Rain was still on the ground, so it was just less people out. A lot of conversations that I had today, a lot of the stuff that I've been talking about all last week has really been hitting me. It's really been, I've read a ridiculous number of comic books. Like the sheer amount of comics that I have personally read is so much more than the average person I deal with. Meaning they're in a comic store and they're looking for comics. But maybe they've read 100 comics. Maybe they're a huge comic fan and they've read 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 whole series. 20,000 full runs of series, and they've read just as much as I have. I don't know if that's my number, but whatever, But the range of what I've read is much wider than most of the people I speak to. I've read super, super duper indie stuff. I've read really major garbage just because I happened to have been a kid when that garbage was coming out. But that was a lot of very important garbage, like the like the 90s X-Men, the Dan Jurgens Superman, like really fun superhero stuff that really informs a lot of what we read nowadays, or really came from a lot of stuff in the past. I've read, and I talk to people, and it's just like wow, like Owen Wilson level, I've read a lot of comic books, a lot. Sorry for the terrible Owen Wilson. And it's just something I've been thinking about. I've read a lot of comic books. I read a lot of comic books. Speaking of horrible impersonations, have you seen this news? Totally off topic, but I'm going to make this a quick one anyway. You've seen Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, the team behind Preacher and The Boys, and many other projects, Superbad, blah, 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 are working on a Muppets reboot. I don't know exactly what that means, but a new Muppet TV show for like ABC Family, Hulu, I don't know, but televised show featuring the Muppets, kind of variety stuff with people and the Muppets. And I'm just like, what does Jason Segel think of this? That's my first thought. If I want to know how I feel about a Muppet project, I want to know how Jason Segel feels about that project. Can you imagine if Jason Segel does not like what Seth Rogen is doing? Can you imagine? Would he say anything? They've worked together on projects. They know each other. I don't know if they're friends, but like, can you imagine being Jason Segel and loving the Muppets, like so much so that you used all the clout you had to make a Muppet movie that almost like redefined the Muppets in the modern era, and then you knew you couldn't. He said this in an interview. I couldn't hold on to it. I made the second movie. It was nice. It was, Can you imagine if I actually could remember all the things I do about comics? I think maybe, but actually remember it would be incredible what I knew. Jason Segel said he knew after a second movie that they weren't going to let him do more, or if they did, they would be compromised. So he just let it go, let them make this TV show that they made for a minute or whatever. Um, he really loves the Muppets, and can you imagine if this acquaintance of his, this guy he knows, who adapts things and makes them totally different so they work better for medium, does something he doesn't like with the Muppets? I can't stop thinking about it. Oh yeah, man. You know, Gonzo's a huge stoner. He's just hitting the bong all the time. No, no, no. Stop that. This is what I do for fun in my sick brain. Anyway, thank you, Doc. I do think the depth of my knowledge is unfathomable. I definitely agree. I do not think you can get to the bottom of the things I know about comics because I don't remember the things I know about comics. It's while I'm talking to someone and then I go look some things up on the internet and then I go, oh, they did that and they worked on that. Okay, cool. So yes, it is absolutely unfathomable is a perfect word. Uh, yeah, that's it. Tomorrow, we're probably getting a huge delivery. There's a bunch of really exciting graphic novels coming out the next like month. I can't even remember what all of them are, but September has some really nice books coming. Um, I know I saw the New Witches of Brooklyn has a volume coming out on Tuesday. There's, I think, a new compact edition as well as a new Marvel premiere, but I can't remember. So we'll discuss that maybe a little bit more tomorrow. And oh, but thanks for joining me. And anyone watching later, remember, damn it, babies, you gotta be kind.